Performance analysis, researched and presented by Symns. What is performance analysis? Performance analysis looks at the innovation of understanding game behavior while aiming to develop an outcome. This is important to consider in the sport industry as it's forever growing, and looking to optimize performance is key for success. A notational analysis will be applied to the study to examine movement sequences and technical decisions to identify the success of them. Key performance indicators will be applied in detail as they offer an in-depth measurement strategy when attempting to determine and optimize the elite performance. In sport, the significant KPIs are physiological, psychological, tactical, and technical. Area of study. The area of study, which will be further investigated, was the second half of the international friendly between England and Brazil in February 2013. At half-time, the score was 1-0 to England. However, the final score finished with England winning 2-1. The main question is, why did the game finish with 2 goals being scored in the second half? This study will look to identify the main factors and decisions which influenced the end result. Critical incidents. There were critical incidents which were seen to have an influence over the final result. A critical incident is a perceived threat which can stagger the final outcome. For a critical incident to happen, there has to be first a dynamic equilibrium followed by a perturbation. A dynamic equilibrium shows an outcome which ceases to change. In this case, it would be the score not changing due to a lack of goals. However, a perturbation unsteadies the stable environment and releases a sudden release of anxiousness. The main perturbations during the second half was the goals scored, firstly by Fred and secondly by Frank Lampard. When Fred scored in the 48th minute, it saw arguments being made between the England lineup as the impact of the perturbation made them over-aroused and anxious towards defeat. This is a critical incident as it affected the flow of the match. On the other hand, when Lampard scored in the 60th minute, Brazil increased the game tempo as the visions of away achievement was obstructed. Brazil's energised attitude towards the match sustained until the end, although the clinical aspect of their game was not followed through. Figure 1 shows an example of a dynamic model of how the behaviours of players were modified over time due to critical incidents. Analysis. The outcome goals that have been selected to examine are their technical and tactical KPIs. These components have been selected as there were many rushed attacks during the second half of the match. The performance indicators which will be studied are shots off and on target in and out of the box, attacking landed passes and attacking failed passes. This will give the opportunity to focus on performance goals to provide a foundation for improvement. Figure 2 shows an example of an attacking pass. An attacking pass is where a team makes a pass in the opposition's half. The pass contributes from where the ball first plays, so the ball can enter the team's own half as long as it originates in the opposition's half. The work will be analysed on the software GameBreaker. Reliability. Reliability was important to consider when taking out the observations. Reliability looks at how accurate components' results are. There are 2 main types of reliability, inter-observer and intra-observer. Inter-observer looks at the test being repeated by 2 reviewers independently, whereas intra-observer looks at the repeated testing by a single reviewer. The study was intra-observed with a 48-hour window to exclude biased opinions. Identify statistics. From looking at the overall statistics identified in Figure 1 and 2, the results show that England's shot efficiency was greater than Brazil. However, Brazil's attacking passes were better utilised. England had 5 shots in the second half and 77 attacking passes, compared to Brazil who had 10 shots and 128 attacking passes. Therefore, the question is asked, are the statistics accurate or too vague to outline the events in the match? Shooting statistics. The results generated from the analysis hold limited information for the reasons behind a successful shot. The aspects which are crucial but ignored are topics like the amount of shots taken, the chances created, risks taken, team movement, and the level of defence between teams. The point to be argued is, England may have had an overall better shot count, but they achieved less shooting opportunities than Brazil. Unfortunately for Brazil, they were not clinical with their finishing. This is why an analysis of play is important to consider faults in the play. Corrective measures to create opportunities. Figure 7 explains the earlier proposition that England failed to gain many scoring opportunities during the second half. Steven Gerrard chose to trip the ball over the defenders in this instant, which wasted the control of possession due to the defensive triangle. A potential outlet that could have been used was Theo Walcott on the right wing. This would have gave width to the play and provided a possible crossing opportunity, although Yiannakos and Armatis 2006 suggest that by splitting the defence it offers a high chance of scoring a goal. Therefore, a pass splitting the defenders on the left side could have offered a chance for James Milner, though a shot on goal could have been beneficial due to Steven Gerrard's experience in shooting goals from a distance. Figure 8 looks at the attack from Brazil. This is a good example of an attacking play from the team. Through Luis Gustavo's bursting run towards the 18-yard box, it drawn players towards his run. Along with this, Neymar ran across the box, offering a potential outlet for Fred. Tenga Atel 2010 has explored the effects of counter-attacks and identified it offers one of the highest chances of scoring. If Fred remained composed in this situation, a goal would have been generated. Passing statistics. The passing results make the outcome look like England spent less time in the opposition's half, although the tests do not take into account the risks taken, dribbles conceded, team movement and team formation. Corrective measures for maintaining possession. Figure 11 and 12 show the difference between England and Brazil's formation strategy. Brazil's tactics show support and offer triangles, for which it's highly thought of by Alberti Atel 2013, as it offers a support network for play, compared to England using their wide formation, which offers low support for progress. Figure 13 explores the options that could have been addressed to support Steven Gerrard. Gerrard attempted a high ball, which ended up at the feet of the Brazilian defenders. This was a waste of possession, as with more support the ball would have been kept. A wide ball to Johnson could have offered a progressive approach to the attack, as he is in plenty of space for movement. Although, with the slight movement from Wilshere, it would have drawn Oscar over, and while this process is happening, Gustavo would be closing down Gerrard. However, by doing this, it offers free space in the middle of the park, from which a ball can be played to Wayne Rooney. This example shows, with a simple adjustment, progression can be made within a team. Analysis summary. From the analysis, feedback can now be addressed to the coach for progress towards process goals. For England, it would be beneficial to explain how a closer formation would have been more supportive for the team when attacking. Although, supporting players also need to move to progressing positions to draw defenders away and provide space for attack. Not looking up when playing the ball was also an error in England's play, as it wasted opportunities several times in the match. These pointers would be a starting point for the England coach, so improvement can be made. Brazil's weaknesses focus on the strikers wasting opportunities with rush shots on goal. The strikers need to work on composure on the ball in training, so in future circumstances, goals can be scored. Another issue was closing play down from rebounds. An example of this was Frank Lampard's goal, which came from the rebound. If they can work on this aspect, they will be sure to eliminate any chance of conceding from this error again. References. These are the references that have been used during the study on performance analysis. Thank you for providing your time to listen to this study.